Happy Monday, everyone. Time for another live commentary. Now here is the fourth and final round of 8 bout from Bonn between Matsuyama Kyosuke and Alessio Foconi. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Now, I must admit that I actually saw parts of this bout, as there was an injury timeout on the bout immediately across between Meinhardt and Garazzo. So there will be bits of this that are not technically a live commentary per se, but it's still going to be a relatively long and exciting bout nonetheless. The previous few bouts from this round have been pretty short. But we have a more exciting one in store for this one, I think. I should probably go ahead and introduce both fencers. I don't know if these two have ever seen each other in individuals before, but Matsuyama is kind of, I'd say, a bridge between the super new school of Japanese fencing and the older school. He's got very, very powerful and explosive footwork. But not as crazy with the blade as the old Japanese fencers used to be, and not quite as crazy footwork as the super new school Japanese fencers tend to be. He's kind of in that middle ground, and he's doing very well with it. And of course, Foconi is known for being very quick with his parry post and very smooth with his attacks. Excuse me. So we'll see how these two stack up. There's a nice march from Matsuyama. Finishes long. Foconi out of distance though. Tries to recommit as Foconi starts and goes off target. So that was his counterattack. It's very important to realize that. Ooh, okay. Gets away. So Foconi's parry post in that situation is very, very good. I'm surprised he actually wasn't able to hit that. Okay, there it is. Okay. Goes off target, though. That situation, Foconi is kind of looking for counter time there as Matsuyama steps in, and that is a very valid strategy for him. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't been able to find it more cleanly. Matsuyama gives that one away. Lets Foconi start. Okay. Now Foconi tries to put on a little bit more pressure here. Matsuyama gets back to the end, tries to start, goes off target, though. Now, you will see Matsuyama marching pretty slowly here. That is deceptive. Matsuyama can get going very, very fast when he needs to, but he likes to hold that in reserve. Kind of like the Russians, in a way, where he starts super slow and finishes super long and fast. We'll hopefully see that here in a bit. There's a decent example, although Foconi stepped in, so he didn't really need his full length of finish. And that is ruled to be a pause by Matsuyama, so a touch for Foconi. Okay, Matsuyama marches, finishes a little bit short still. That is nowhere close to his full reach. And again, Foconi seems to be trying counter time there, and the call is parry riposte, counter parry riposte for Foconi. So he did let Matsuyama find the blade first, which is very brave, but being Foconi, he probably has quite a bit of confidence in that action at that distance. Although he wasn't able to hit with it yet, tries it the third time, and it turns out to be the charm. Okay, who wants the march? Matsuyama takes it over. That's a bit of a longer lunge from him. Okay, that was about Matsuyama's full acceleration and full power there. So that's a rough benchmark. If Foconi can get away from that, although he was a little bit out of distance to start, if Foconi can escape that, he'll have a pretty good time this bout, I think. Okay, Matsuyama challenging that march pretty subtly, just by stopping, but it is enough to be threatening, and he can start and turn that around as soon as Foconi paused, as you see there. So Foconi has to be careful. He's either got to stay super continuous with his attack, which could be dangerous if he gets too close. Or if he pauses, he has to be ready to run for Matsuyama's very hard acceleration. Okay. Bit of a giveaway there by Matsuyama. Foconi starts. Oh, that is interesting. Tries to step in as soon as Matsuyama takes the blade. It's a pretty ambitious timing, though, and Matsuyama just finds it. Relatively straightforward touch there for Matsuyama. Maybe a bit of a mistake by Foconi, if we're being totally honest. Oh, who does that go to? Referee says attack right. That felt very simultaneous to me. Alright, Foconi continues to march. Matsuyama takes it over, tries to find a way through in 4. Not a huge fan of that scrunchy remise type thing, especially against fencers like Foconi. They can just hit right through that. This time, though, it does not result in a touch for Foconi. But it very well might in the future if he keeps trying that. Oh, interesting. Matsuyama able to step in safely somehow. Seems like Foconi's been having some trouble hitting that line. Touch still goes through. Foconi might change his weapon if this continues. If nothing else, just to give himself a break. Right, Foconi takes the blade and marches. Matsuyama gives him space. Oh, and steps in with a very quick counterattack. That was some very sharp distance work by him. It was actually quite a small step forward to set that up, but it was very good. Again, Foconi's been having trouble landing that. Okay, that fast parry post is classic Foconi, but Matsuyama escapes from it. And Foconi, that very smooth lunge, is also very classic Alessio Foconi. Most opponents, when they see that coming, they don't know to get away in time. Alright, Matsuyama again. Not quite his full power finish. Foconi tries to push back, gets Matsuyama close to his end of the strip. Matsuyama again steps in. And this time, yeah, Foconi's first riposte was no. Again, with that counter time idea there, I think that does benefit him. He is very good at that very quick parry for riposte. But again, he just hasn't been able to hit it super accurately. That time, very nice. And Alessio does like to point at the box when he gets a really nice touch like that. That was just a very clean compound advanced lunge with a coupe. Changing lines there. And Matsuyama searching, not really the best idea. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Gives an exasperated squawk of frustration. Alright, Matsuyama on the march. Gives it up, though. We'll say, we haven't seen that much of Matsuyama's very powerful finish. There he tries kind of what Foconi did at him. Goes off target, though. Same idea, though. Very compound with the feint, very deep feint with a 4, and then switching to the outside line. So. Oh, Foconi a little late with his hand there. After taking the blade, Matsuyama finds a very nice time to sneak the blade in. Okay. Foconi keeps marching, takes the blade before he finishes again. If Matsuyama were to just run away, he'd be totally safe from that, but instead he stays in distance and Foconi goes off target. Alright. Foconi still pretty tenuous march. Matsuyama takes it over, but can't hit, and Foconi turns it around. That's an action that we see from the Italians quite a bit, actually. It's a kind of counter time idea, but it's more the distance that makes it work. He just gives a tiny step back or stops him moving forward. And that's enough to make Matsuyama's attempt to take over the attack fall short. So, very even so far, 4-4. We've seen kind of a not Matsuyama's usual game plan here, honestly. He normally likes that very hard and very fast attack quite a bit more, if I'm not mistaken. And Foconi's fencing has been pretty characteristic of him, but uncharacteristically, he's having some trouble hitting. Especially when Matsuyama pulls out that really sharp counterattack. Which, to be fair, when the distance is that good for Matsuyama, it is quite hard to hit. But even the simpler, like, counter-time situations, Foconi's been having some trouble turning a light on. Which is quite worrisome. An opponent with footwork as good as Matsuyama is going to be able to find that ideal distance for himself very reliably. So Foconi had better be able to hit that if if he wants to really have a shot. On the other hand, Matsuyama's been having some trouble really taking over things himself. It is very hard to throw Foconi off when he decides to walk at you slowly. So, even if he's going to miss his finish, it's one thing to make him miss, it's another to actually like turn the attack around and get some chances to have right away yourself. So, let's see if anyone has gotten any special insight from their coaches during this break. I'm interested to see if anything changes here. I think it'd be more likely for Matsuyama to change something up than Foconi, though, at this point. Foconi just needs to work on his accuracy. Okay. Matsuyama's pushing quite a bit more. Walks into Foconi's parry post. Foconi thinks he might have covered with his head. I didn't see it that way. And again, that action normally very great for Foconi. He isn't able to hit, and Matsuyama stepping in is still able to find it. That goes to Foconi, yeah. He's not going to ask for a video review? Okay. He's going to take a little pause to wipe his face off. Maybe that's tactical. Maybe he just has some sweat. Okay. So let's see. Matsuyama still pushes very slowly and then accelerates, but his arm's a bit too far back. And Foconi doesn't really respect that distance. He just stays there and goes off target, kind of unluckily. Again, Foconi's accuracy has not been great. Okay, Matsuyama again. So yeah, on defense, Matsuyama does like this a lot. He, instead of really trying to do anything to directly challenge the march, unless it's a super quick counterattack, he just stops, makes the opponent freak out, and then turns it around with that very powerful, like, advanced lunge or double advanced lunge. We've seen him do that a couple times this bout. Oh, missing. That's unfortunate. This time, Foconi does have the blade work. But yeah, still a very even fight, I would say. Every situation that comes up, there's decent winning chances for both. Foconi marches. Oh, it stops though. Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, Foconi gives his attack up. Matsuyama makes a very cavalier step forward there, not really ready to finish, and Foconi just steps back in. Okay, Matsuyama on the march again. Very Russian with that footwork style. Foconi keeps pushing. That should be Foconi's, right? Ooh. He says there were two, and is he gonna ask for video? I did hear two blade sounds there. I would, think he might actually he would have had a shot at that if he'd asked for video review, I think. Then again, my refereeing skills are not at the level of this referee's. Ooh. Interesting infighting idea. Oh, no! No touch! Very good call by Foconi. He felt that he hit that one. Yep. It's very rare that that actually happens in foil. I'm very impressed that Foconi was able to identify it and ask for the test. Normally when people do that, it's just a, like, little moment of clarity to think in between touches. It's not really... It's very rarely the foil's actual fault that you miss actions like that. But in this case, it is. And that also means Matsuyama's touch is annulled, so very nice. Okay. Grutz. Oh, excuse me, Foconi. I'm thinking of the bout behind this one. Alright. Foconi's still pretty much doing the same stuff. Oh, finishes right into the good distance for Matsuyama, though. He does still have that slow start, but Matsuyama sees it coming. He just stands still, waits for the acceleration, and then parry post. That's pretty much an action right out of Foconi's playbook, if I'm honest. Again, Matsuyama offering the blade, not really trying to attack yet. He's probably going to wait for some turnaround of some sort. There it is. Oh, but again, his blade's too withheld. That does tend to be a pretty systematic issue that Matsuyama can have. If he gets going too fast and his blade's too far back, it's very hard to finish. I mean, to be fair, it's very hard for anyone to finish in that configuration. But Matsuyama tends to do that a little bit more than most. Oh, who gets this? Matsuyama asked for a video? Okay. Okay, there it is. Matsuyama's coach was there begging him to ask for video. Despite the referee's explanation, we'll see about this one. That was a very tight call, though. I couldn't call that either way. Meanwhile, there's Garrick and Grazzo in the background. Oh, and Grazzo's cramping. I remember that. That was unfortunate. Commentated that just a couple minutes ago, in fact. Oh, it does change. Good call by Matsuyama's coach to press him to ask for a review there. I don't think he would have if it not for his coach. But that's an amazing call. Yeah, I couldn't separate that myself, but apparently they can. Let's see. Matsuyama, again, not really pressing here. Now he is, yeah. He's waiting for a moment of hesitation from Foconi before he really pulls the trigger with that super fast attack. And it's been working out for him pretty well so far. On the other hand, if he does it and his arm's just a little too far back and Foconi stays in distance, that is a recipe for disaster. Okay. Oh, tries to change to like a preem flick type thing there. Matsuyama does. Honestly, going that fast, making such a large line change, I feel like he might not have time to get the point back onto the target, which may have contributed to him going off target there instead of hitting. Oh man, that is sharp. That wasn't really even a counterattack. That was just Foconi kind of hesitating. I might even call that attack and prep by Matsuyama because Foconi kind of stopped there. Yeah, very sharp footwork. Oh, that jucking and twisting remise. Even though Foconi is quite the consummate master of hitting that close distance parry or post, Matsuyama's body contortions make it very difficult for even the best to land it. Oh, but it's a card. And okay. And Foconi changes weapons too. So, just a yellow card for Matsuyama. Not the end of the world, although he can't get away with that same type of thing again. Especially with the referee, he's probably going to be looking for it a little bit more now. But, on the other hand, he's still able to avoid Foconi's very dangerous parry post. And if he hadn't taken the card, he probably would have just gotten hit there. So, I'd say that's still a pretty good trade for him. He just can't afford to do that again. Yellow card is not nearly as bad as getting hit, but we'll see. Now, I did see Matsuyama look like he'd take the blade there, so I could see that changing to Matsuyama's. Although if Foconi was also like looking for the blade at the same time. Excuse me. No, but no, it still goes to Foconi. Yep, so Foconi still has both his video reviews. Matsuyama has one. And here we go again. Foconi continuing to push. Again, Matsuyama standing still for the parry or post. And that time Foconi felt like he was starting a bit too slow, to be honest. So, again, Matsuyama's not really trying to attack. He's waiting for Foconi to make a mistake before he attacks, like there. But yeah, Matsuyama missed the first one. Ooh, I don't know about that call. I don't know about that video review call, man. That's probably not going to be... Don't do it, Matsuyama. Okay, he acknowledges. That's fine. I was going to say, that's a great way to just waste a video review call. Despite the coach arguing for it. So, once more. Matsuyama again continues to push. Again, that's not really very much commitment to his finish, though. Foconi continuing to push back. Can't really find a way through just yet. There it is. Okay. So yeah, that time he made a much smaller and slower first step there. And when Matsuyama came in, he was still far enough away that he had room to finish. So, small distance adjustment for an extra sneaky little touch there. Oh my god, that blade work. Like I said, Matsuyama is not quite as crazy as some of the Japanese fencers of the past, but still quite good with it. Able to have a nice exchange there with Foconi, who is probably one of the best at that situation right now. And with 4 seconds left, little blade contacts to make sure it's not a passivity call at the last second, and there we go. 10-10 after the second period. Very close bout still, with a little bit of excitement there with those cards and a lot of kind of complicated refereeing situations. So, at this point, it's getting to the territory where there's very little room for mistakes. This has been a pretty slow bout all the way through. Typically with Italians, bouts tend to slow down a little bit, just because they tend to fence a little bit more passively, even when they attack, and fairly cautious on defense. And it seems like Matsuyama is pretty much respecting that this entire bout. He is capable of much more active and aggressive fencing than he's doing now, but it seems he's kind of falling into the same pattern that Foconi is using, and he's doing very well with it, to be honest. That shows a great amount of confidence. But we'll see. Foconi still doesn't seem like he's on his A game with that parry or post situation. As we saw, Matsuyama was able to stand like parry for parry with him in the middle there just now. So, also with the scores this high, it's getting towards the territory where just a few bag of tricks actions will be enough to sway it. So, Spout will probably maintain the same slow pace it's had. Yep, Foconi again trying that very quick parry 6 with the 4 flick, but not able to find it this time. Goes off target eventually. See again. Matsuyama pushes, finishes. Okay. Looks like Matsuyama is a little bit more eager to finish his attacks now. Which is an interesting change. But again, Foconi finishes right at the perfect distance for Matsuyama. That lunge starts super slow, but honestly, Foconi, I feel he should change something in the middle of the lunge if he can. Because Matsuyama is just standing there because he knows the distance is right for him. You could even go indirect there if you're Foconi. I'm surprised he hasn't really tried that. Maybe he has and I haven't seen it. Oh, interesting. Tries to remise and preen after Matsuyama parries the first one. Kind of something out of Ota's playbook. Oh no, I brought up Ota in a bout with a Japanese fencer. Oh no, my fanboy is showing. And I brought it up in reference to the fencer who isn't Japanese. How do you identify that? That is nice by Foconi though. That is the real strong suit of his slow start to his lunge. That's to be very precise with distance, and that is his attack all the way through. So let's see. Foconi continues to push. That worked well for him last touch, so no reason to stop. But again, that finish. That distance feels so good for Matsuyama. I'm surprised Foconi's still trying to commit to it. Okay. That distance felt a little close there for Matsuyama, though. Not as big a fan of that. Keeps pushing. Finishes. Again, not as long as he could. Pushes again. Foconi takes the blade. Again, Matsuyama's trying to scare Foconi into stepping back, at which point he can deliver that attack. And it didn't happen the first time he wanted it, but eventually he still was able to find a similar action there. So yeah, that is actually something that the Italians tend to be a little bit vulnerable to. If you get them in an uncomfortable position when they're marching, they, more often than just trying to finish straight up, they'll often just give you a half step back or even stop for a second. And Matsuyama is using that exact moment to try and set up his super long attack, so Foconi can't even run away. There are a few options Foconi could take off of that. He could stop and immediately just look for the blade, assuming that Matsuyama is going to attack super hard. He could also just stop and immediately counterattack when he sees Matsuyama come forward. But that's a very tight timing to hit. It's very hard to make that work. On the other hand, it's also a very hard thing to make Foconi pause or retreat when he doesn't want to when he's marching at you, as Matsuyama is finding here. There it is, though, and Foconi escapes. Matsuyama offers the blade. Again, you see he's lingering distance or trying to startle Foconi. There it is. Now starts, finishes long. Nice tempo change in his advanced lunge there, but goes off target. Foconi knows to stay farther away than he'd probably ideally prefer. But it is very safe, and down 11-12, he can't really afford to bleed touches. Again, Matsuyama scares him, able to finish long, but again, Foconi finds the blade on the way out. This is super dangerous, though. Oh no! Yep, good call. Matsuyama missed the first riposte. Referee's gonna have a look and see if Matsuyama covered target there. If he did, that'd be a red card. Oh, excuse me. Doing bouts back-to-back can take its toll on me. I'm sorry for this. Let's see, they are having a bit of a look. If that's a red card, that could be huge. And it is. Man. Like I said, well, doing it for a yellow card is one thing, but at that point, taking the red card probably isn't. If Foconi's just going to get the touch anyway. Okay. Felt like a bad time to step in for Matsuyama. But again, Foconi isn't really able to find the target there. Could be just the distance thing, but that distance feels like normally his comfort zone. Okay, again, Foconi tries. Missed the first couple of riposts, but eventually the scrunch remise clinches it. Matsuyama, interesting that he's choosing to stay and fight Foconi on basically his terms there. Because again, Foconi is pretty much the master of parry or post game at that distance. So it's very brave and perhaps a bit foolish by Matsuyama to be... Oh, okay, that's another option though. And again, Foconi is still having some accuracy problems. That may be why Matsuyama is being so brave. He might be banking on the fact that Foconi will just miss. But that's not really a safe bet. Oh, very nice timing by Foconi. Wow, that was super sharp. That was probably like even simultaneous. Although it did feel like Foconi was a little later there. Okay, Foconi tries to compound a 4-flick into a 4-flick. Not every day you see that. And again, Matsuyama's very powerful lunge. Foconi's able to escape though, which is pretty huge. If he can escape. Oh, and again, there's that pretty much same thing that happened off target before. Yep. So it says attack stops attack. Very good call. And now Foconi's up. Matsuyama's got to find something here. I feel like he has fewer options than Foconi does at this point. Matsuyama could try and scare Foconi's march again like he has before, but Foconi's been able to escape. Yeah. And I was kind of prophetic before. Foconi pauses in his march. That prompts Matsuyama to go super hard, and Foconi counterattacks immediately. So, man, am I good. That's pretty cool. I didn't know Foconi would use that. I would actually think, given Foconi, he'd probably try parry riposte. But it does work. It wins him about 15-13, and with that, we are done with the Bonn World Cup events. Or, excuse me, the Bonn World Cup round of 8 bouts. I've watched quite a few of the other bouts at Bonn. But if there's any remaining, I might do those in the next couple days. In the meantime, until any of those bouts come out, I'll see you in the next one, and as always, stay sharp.